Welcome everyone to the quarterly AMA for Zebi. I'm Sudhir Kupam, co-founder and CEO of the company, as most of you already know. With me today I have the leadership team for the company. Starting from the right, so Prithvi is our Chief Operating Officer. Funny out here is our SVP of Engineering. And on my left, I have Arun, who is our CFO, and Srinivas Tangirala, who is our new addition to the team, is our Chief Architect. So with that, let's jump into our AMA. So a couple of things I want to quickly highlight. In the last quarter, pretty much, we prioritized launching of our mainnet, and as you know, we went live a couple of weeks ago on August 15th, and of course we are getting ready to actually do the ERC20 to mainnet token swap. In fact, based on the latest that I heard from my technology team, looks like the mainnet swap will be live tomorrow, 9 a.m. UTC. And with respect to our exchange listings, we also work closely with Binance Chain and basically got Zebi listed on Binance DEX, their decentralized exchange. And from an R&D collaboration perspective, we are engaged with Cosmos development team, as well as Binance Chain development team. And naturally, most of you know that the mainnet technology and the platform and the infrastructure associated with it is relatively new. And Zebi being in the enterprise market, where we are already selling to multiple customers across all of our products. So far we have 4 products which have revenue generating customers, and so naturally we are working very closely with Cosmos and Binance to ensure that the mainnet platform is enterprise grade and can basically support scalability for initially for hundreds of millions of transactions, but eventually billion plus. So with that, let's go into the questions that we already received. Do we have any live questions so far? No. So the first question is about the company should focus on Zebi Token because there are 2 kinds of people, tech lovers and speculators, supporting the token. So many thanks for your suggestion. So naturally, if you look at a lot of the developments that we have accomplished in the last quarters since our last AMA, the first move on ERC20 to BEP2 swap, so that we can actually list on Binance DEX, which is Binance's decentralized exchange, is obviously in support of the token. And the good news is, across our 4 products, we actually are already blockchaining 2 million records, and all of these 2 million records will become 2 million transactions on the mainnet very soon. So once the mainnet swap begins, and I have intentionally asked my engineering team to hold off on putting these 2 million records on the mainnet, mainly because I wanted all the global validators and stakers of our mainnet token to actually benefit from the rewards. So as soon as the mainnet swap goes live and people have a chance to swap your ERC20 to our mainnet token, then you'll also have the instructions to actually become a validator, undo staking or delegate were all posted a couple of weeks ago on our website. And so once we see more public nodes on the mainnet, that's when we'll begin data loading so that the rewards for blockchaining the 2 million transactions will actually go to the token holders.
Yeah, I think the thing that I'll add is I think the very fact that we focused and pulled in the mainnet launch by 1 quarter is demonstration of the fact that we focused on the utility of the Zebi token, right? And on top of that, everything that Sudhir has said in terms of validation, staking, all of that, that's what creates the utility for Zebi token, right? And when utility is created, value is created.
Good point, Arun. So let's move on to the next question. Will exchanges convert the tokens? So we do have, see, first of all, our mainnet token is based on Cosmos SDK. So not all exchanges are actually equipped to trade Atom token. So for some of the exchanges that already have that capability, Arun's team is in active discussions with them. So over the course of the next few weeks, as they make progress, they will make the announcements. But so far, the exchanges that actually already signed up to support the swap are BitBNS, based out of India, and Bitmart, which is a global exchange.
So we're working with both these exchanges to enable swap through the exchange. We're trying to, basically, we're discussing the methodology to do that with them. So over the next 1 week or sooner than that, we'll have clarity on that. And of course, in terms of not just conversion, in terms of listing, there's another exchange, Probit, which we've announced. It's a Korean exchange that will list it. Clearly, there's a number of other exchanges, Liquid, OKX, all of them. We're in talks with them. Not all of them support Cosmos. And it'll be a business call on, at the end of the day, how we will list and how we will swap with these exchanges. The bigger piece, of course, is the fact that we are listed on Binance Dex, which immediately provides liquidity. So outside of the Zebi mainnet token being listed on these other exchanges, we've got the Web2 token. And when the bidirectional swap is initiated, which will happen in the next couple of weeks, then there's liquidity, ample liquidity across these tokens, so it all works seamlessly, right? So at that point, really, it doesn't matter whether we're listed on 10 exchanges this side or just Binance Dex. As long as there's ample opportunity for people to exchange and trade, I think we're good.
Okay, next question. Looks like you guys have raised money by selling Zebi tokens as part of ICO. I see a note that Zebi is not a cryptocurrency, just a utility token. How do token holders benefit by buying Zebi tokens? Why should users buy Zebi tokens? Are there any staking rewards or buybacks? So as mentioned earlier, the validators and delegators will receive rewards for staking their tokens and approving and validating transactions on Zebi public blockchain. And as mentioned earlier, we have about 2 million records across all of our products that are being sold today in India. And naturally, all of those will ensure that there is sufficient reward for the token holders that are participating in the validation and delegation. And in terms of any new customers that Zebi adds, keep in mind that there is a huge digitization drive happening in India, and it's the drivers are obviously all the central governments as well as the state governments, and of course the private enterprises. So naturally, when you actually look at a country with 1.3 billion population and 1 billion broadband connections because of smart devices, you can easily see the implications in terms of the digital footprint that the country is going to create. So that's going to naturally require more data protection, and what Zebi offers is data protection through blockchain technology. And as more and more records come onto the mainnet, more rewards are naturally delivered to the token holders. And in terms of utility, I think the single most important utility for Zebi token today is to bring blockchain protection to India's digital footprint, given that all of our customer base today is in India. Now, that said, we are also having conversations to basically expand globally. And so, in the near future, we as soon as we actually solidify the contractual discussions, we will announce some of our international customers adopting our products.
And just to add to that, even regardless of transactions happening on the mainnet, still because of the inflation model we have on the Zebi mainnet, so whoever has taken their tokens and have become validators, we will be getting returns in terms of additional Zebi tokens. This will be on top of the share of the transaction fee that they will be getting.
Arun, you want to take the next question?
So plans to list on a Japanese exchange, nothing currently, but if the community has any contacts or wants to introduce us, we can certainly approach and consider it. We don't have anything against listing.
Liquid, by the way, is a Japanese exchange.
Yeah, so Liquid we are listed, but we're in talks with them in terms of listing the Zebi new mainnet token and the swap. They are not yet prepared technically to list Atom or a Cosmos based token, but we're in talks with them.
So the next one is, how can token holders benefit with Zebi tokens? Why did you constantly change your plans in regard to the token use? So I think we already addressed this, that the single most important utility is to run the mainnet. Now, with respect to the fiat to Zebi token conversion or accepting Zebi tokens as payment mechanism for availing our platform and infrastructure services, as many of you know, India has taken a very strong stance against cryptocurrencies. So naturally, Zebi has to tread cautiously, given the fact that we are doing business in this country and all of our customer base is in India at the moment. So we need to ensure that we cannot force anything that would put the company at risk with the local regulatory bodies.
And our customers.
And of course, our customers. Yeah. Prithvi, you want to take this?
Okay, so this is around functioning community and why. There's a question saying, is it important for a project to have a functioning community, and why does it seem that Zebi does not care about its community and the token holders? And so today, I just want to reiterate that that's not true. We believe in a decentralized economy, and of course, we do believe in community and the token holders. So earlier there used to be a lot of unanswered questions. We are now ensuring that there's no question that goes unanswered. I think that has been addressed. There is active engagement not only from our admins but also from senior management from time to time. And obviously we are hoping that this will change our perception. So we've done a lot over the last 6 months, and we are hoping that the perception will change. And one thing I want to request here is that the success of the project is also linked to the equal support and participation of the community. And I would like to reach out to all of you to support us at every single instance you can. So go ahead and tell everyone about our mainnet launch.
Tangi, you want to take this?
Yeah, so this question is, what is the yearly percentage staking node runners will earn? Actually, we are given a sample calculation in the documentation that we published. It's on the mainnet. So it gives an example of different validators according to actually the percentage returns will be in proportion to the staking, obviously. And there are two ways, like Fanny was also mentioning. One is through inflation, rewards will be accumulated by validators, and the other is through transaction fees. So these two calculations, I mean, how the percentage will be per block, I think the rewards will be granted to the validators. So all the calculations are on the mainnet. You can refer to the documentation.
The only thing I'll give you a little more color to this is, we basically are a fork of Cosmos. So we largely have retained the rules that Cosmos has set.
Yeah.
And the inflation range that Cosmos has is 7 to 20%, which is what we have set in our mainnet. So you can see that anywhere between 7 to 20% of the circulating supply will be rewarded as inflation rewards to the people that are staking. This will not go to people that are not staking. And the whole concept behind this is to incentivize staking on the mainnet. So people who stake will earn rewards to inflation, like Tandy said, in addition to transaction rewards.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate the point that Funny made, which is even if there are no transactions, because the inflation percentage is, the minimum is 7%, every time a block is created, that inflation related tokens are actually distributed.
And every 5 seconds block is created.
Yeah, to the stakers. So in general, I think the yearly percentage will be fairly attractive. Next question. Prithvi, you want to take?
Yeah, so the next question is, why is Zebi marketing still out of control, and why don't we promote our project? One thing is, Zebi has focused on delivering real projects and is not a hollow marketing company. Okay, so we have done meaningful marketing, and that will continue. We have a lot of marketing strategies, and you will see some of it between both on the social media engagement as well as offline marketing that we do with the customer base and events and so on and so forth. So separately, we promised to update our website. We've done that. We have a new website now, and that will get continuously updated.
You can skip this. Yeah. So the next question is about Zebi community continuously shrinking. Let me address this, right? So basically, I think in the last 6 months since I have taken over, I think we basically tried to bring more transparency. We constantly updated the community with respect to the various products that we have released in the marketplace and their traction with our customer base. So I think very few companies can actually claim the kind of customer traction that we have today, especially in the blockchain ecosystem. So naturally, we continue to look forward to the support from our community, and we will continue to maintain the transparency, keep you updated on all of our successes with respect to not only product development but also customer design wins. And there are a lot of exciting things in the pipeline which you will hear from us as and when they become more concrete.
Yeah, so I just want to add one thing here again at the cost of repetition. See, a project, any blockchain project is successful only if the community equally understands the realities of what is there and supports, right? So we know crypto is going through a nuclear winter, and there are a lot of regulatory burdens that are there, and we have to work in that framework only, right? And so we want you all to understand and support us. And like Sudhir said, we've just gone live with Mainnet, and the action has just started actually. And we have a lot of things in the pipeline, which we will announce from time to time.
So the next question is about negative 99% ROI for ZCO token holders. So I think all of you do realize that crypto markets are experiencing a nuclear winter. So a lot of altcoins are actually stuck due to lack of liquidity, due to lack of credibility, because they have not delivered what they promised. Now, when people are associating Zebi with the rest of the alts, there is nothing much that Zebi as a company can do. All we can do is continue to execute with respect to our technology roadmap, our product roadmap, and ensure that we basically deliver on those promises. So again, we are selling 4 blockchain products in India. We have multiple revenue generating customers. Over 2 million records are being blockchained, and you will see all of this transaction volume on the mainnet as soon as the mainnet gets stabilized with nodal participation globally from our token holders. And there are also a few products in R&D phase which we are planning to launch for developed economies. And all of this basically puts us at a very exciting juncture when it comes to the future for Zebi as a company and also Zebi Token. Arun, you want to take this?
Zebi converting fiat into tokens, at least if not, where is the Zebi token used? Why should people hold Zebi token? I think we've already given the answer. The way this is going to work on mainnet is essentially we are going to give Zebis as transaction rewards when transactions occur. We are also going to build in that as we get customers in India, essentially, and as we translate their data into the mainnet, we will enable transaction rewards through the Zebi token. Okay. Now, we cannot force our customers to get Zebi tokens and then initiate transactions as long as they are in India. So that won't happen. But that said, whatever I described will happen, and that should then drive the utility of the Zebi token, right? But indirectly, there is conversion from the fees we receive for transaction storage on the mainnet into Zebi token.
So the next question is for the entire management team, and the expectation is each management team member gives at least one reason as to why someone should buy Zebi token. So I think you already heard me. I genuinely believe that we are one of the few blockchain companies with real market adoption. We are India's only functional mainnet, and with the digitization drive that's happening all around us in India, we have plenty of opportunity to bring blockchain benefits to various applications. So that said, I will pass it on to Prithvi.
Yeah, so you stole 3 of them, Sudhir. So anyway, we are India's biggest blockchain company by far today, and we will continue to dominate the Indian landscape. And with mainnet going live and all future customers coming onto mainnet, the action is going to significantly increase in the coming months. That's why I strongly believe in Zebi.
So I have been with Zebi for close to 4 years. So I can actually vouch that we have a very strong technical team, and as you can understand, for a technology company, the strength of the technical team is very important. So having a strong technical team, so the technology roadmap deliverables are in safe hands. And as you know, things like the token value or the customers or the revenue, they depend on many other factors. But once we have a strong technology team that is proceeding per a plan, so it's only a matter of time before the other things turn very rosy.
Thanks, Funny. Arun?
Yeah, I think I'll tell you why you should not invest in the Zebi token in the first place. You should not invest in the Zebi token if you don't believe in the company, okay, and in what the company is doing. If you believe in what the company is doing in terms of bringing blockchain to real markets, in terms of enabling applications on a mainnet that we've launched, in terms of securing data on the blockchain across multiple customers, those are the things we are focused on, right? Building the what should I say, value proposition for Zebi in the blockchain space, right? And as business grows, naturally the utility of the Zebi token grows and the value of it grows. But unless the fundamental business grows and does well, that won't happen. And so you should basically invest if you believe we are making that progress. We believe we are, because clearly we've launched the mainnet, we are enabling the swap, we have 2 million transaction records to put on the blockchain, we have 40 plus customers across 4 segments, we have 4 live products, right, and 2 in R&D. All of those I think set Zebi apart, right? And if you believe that story, then you should invest. If not, no.
So Tangi?
Yeah. So being the chief architect, I'm actually very excited and looking forward to collaborate with the great Cosmos team and also the Binance team. The Binance team also has built their DEX on Cosmos. So this collaborative effort, I think Zebi and Cosmos and Binance, that will, I think, potentially synergize the technological evolution. And I think we are poised to become the greatest or most advanced blockchain company in the world. I won't burst to say that. So if that doesn't excite you to invest in Zebi token, what else will?
Thanks, Tangi. So let's actually shift gears and try to take some live questions. Do we have any questions? Nothing? Okay. All right. Rudy, I think this is yours.
Specifically, okay, so there's a question here which says, Prithvi Rao, to many community members, you are the person that is secretly leading Zebi and so on and so forth. So I just want to say that everyone here is leading Zebi from the front. There are no secrets here. There's a follow-up to that, basically, which says that why do you think Zebi will succeed and why token holders should not give up? But anyway, at the cost of repetition, I will summarize again. So in the last 6 months, just to summarize, we've added 25 new customers. A lot of these logos are already on our website. People complained last time that we don't publicly tell, so we've started doing that. We've listed on 6+ exchanges, including Binance DEX, and we've pulled Mainnet ahead by almost half a year, right? And so with Mainnet going live, the utility token has begun, and we all gave our reasons as to why we believe it is going to clearly be the biggest blockchain story India has ever seen, and probably, in Tangi's words, the world will see. So separately, I also want to say that now that we have launched Mainnet, we also intend to, we already have about 30 universities on our platform, and we want to launch developer programs and hackathons, and that will again drive our entire Zap infrastructure and third-party applications that will get built on Mainnet, and again that is a huge benefit to the entire token economy that is there. So separately, Sudhir also mentioned that we just started going abroad. We are doing projects outside of India as well, and we will announce them as we go along. So I am very excited, and yeah, I'm not secretly leading at all.
And several universities are already offering courses in blockchain.
Yeah.
So we can collaborate with them and develop the developer community in India.
Funny, you want to take this? It's on Web2Swap.
Yeah. So in the case of the Web2Swap, it has been live for about 2 weeks now, and it will run for a 90-day period. So the instructions for the swap have been published on the Zebi website, and even some security tips have also been published. So it's a fairly user-friendly process, and people who have already done KYC with Zebi before do not have to repeat the KYC. Only people who did not do KYC before have to do the KYC because we have to comply with the regulations. and exchange doing the swap for you works in the case of swap to mainnet, but for the swap to Web2, your exchange will not do the swap for you. You will have to do the swap yourself following the instructions. Already a lot of people have done the swap, and as we speak every day, millions of tokens are being swapped.
Do we have an answer regarding the unclaimed, non-swapped coins be credited to Zebi account and not to the original owners? So I think we communicated early this week that all the unswapped, unclaimed ZCO coins will be burnt, and the equivalent Zebi tokens on the mainnet will also be burnt. The next is about KYC platform. Has it been audited by a third party? Funny.
So one of Zebi's strengths is security. Our KYC platform and the swap software has some plethora of security features, which are state of the art. 256-bit encryption, bit and trending key management system, for data in transit and data at rest, and data in use being strongly encrypted, and no human handling of keys or any sensitive information. So for lack of time, I won't go into details, but it has been treated security has been treated very high priority right from day one, and it's very secure. And having said that, and also please note that neither the KYC platform nor the swap nor the bridge software take information of any passwords or private keys from the user. So they are not taken at all. So the question of the hack of the private keys and users' accounts being compromised doesn't arise at all, because they don't capture the private keys at all.
Just to add, I just want to add that Zebi is already an ISO 27001 company, which means we already follow the highest standards for data security.
So the next question is about will ZCO be completely removed from trading until the swap is finished? So I think at the end of the day, the mainnet swap is going live sometime tomorrow, 9 a.m. UTC. So naturally, whichever exchanges are supporting the swap, they will have instructions on what needs to be done so that they can perform the swap for you. And we all encourage you to swap as soon as possible. That way, we can basically ensure that there is enough liquidity for Zebi mainnet token, and also ensure that there is no confusion with respect to the staking and validating, etc., that people are enthusiastic about, given the fact that we already announced that there will be inflation related returns if you do staking. So unless you actually do the swap from ZCO to mainnet token, you cannot really avail those benefits. So given that, I think the prudent way is, if your ZCOs are in an exchange account where we have not announced any swap logistics, then you are better off withdrawing to your MetaMask or MyEther wallet so that you can actually perform the swap yourself based on the instructions that Zebi published on our website. Looks like we have a question from Holland. Will Zebi be useful for Holland? So I think Zebi's products have universal implications. Obviously, the current products that we actually sell are mostly targeted at emerging markets, mainly because there is a lot of concern with respect to authenticity, given the fact that there are a lot of fake and duplicate document prevalence in emerging markets like India. So when you take a look at Zebi Edu chain, it gives peace of mind to the university because people are printing fake certificates left and right along with transcripts. So, so to come back to the question, I think the couple of products that we actually have that are targeted at developed economies, when we announce them, I think they definitely be useful for a country like Holland.
And definitely, residents of Holland can be Zebi token holders
and validators.
Yes, thank you.
You can host a Zebi public blockchain node being in Holland, so you can own Zebi tokens, and you can get the benefits of being a validator on the Zebi mainnet.
Arun, you want to take the next?
On OKX, we're in talks with them, but I'm not expecting that we will get to a conclusion anytime soon. So I would suggest following the advice that Sudhir gave. Obviously, if we make progress and if we're able to, if OKX enables a swap, we will let you know. But if you would like to do it sooner than that, then I think you should follow what Sudhir said.
Thank you, Arun. The next one, Tangi.
Yeah. Newbie developers, I don't think we'll be making a Zebi IDE per se, but then probably we'll come out with a plugin module, which will enable integration with the most popular IDEs like Visual Code or even Eclipse, that will enable faster development of applications on Zebi public blockchain. So that's about the plans. I think that's a prudent way to approach to make it easy for new developers to develop ZApps. We call them ZApps because it's the Zebi application, which is equivalent to kind of dApps in the blockchain world. So yes, there are plans to make it easier and easier for the developers to develop applications on Zebi public blockchain.
Thanks, Tangi. Next, Prudvi, you want to take that?
Yeah, so how do you plan to utilize Zebi tokens on the customer side? Okay, so I think we covered this. So basically from now on, every single transaction that we'll use for security on Zebi mainnet for our customers will use a Zebi token. Like we said, that is the reward that token holders will get outside of validator rewards. Right? So all our existing customers' records also will be put on mainnet, and that also we covered, saying that the rewards relating to those will also go to the token holders. And it will continue. We are also, I think Sudhir covered that we're also in works with to launch new products. For each of them, every time there's a transaction, a Zebi token is used, and the reward for that is going to the token holder.
Arun, you want to take the next one? Collaborating with exchanges dealing in reward points.
I don't know enough about this, but certainly we'll take a look. I mean, I would say no to.
So I will take this. So basically, this is using tokens as points. This is something that we have considered. This is part of a fintech suite of solutions that we are currently contemplating. We have not yet taken it to points.com, but we have taken it to customers who are equivalent users of points, like maybe gamers, for example. Again, they're too early to be discussed here, but when it matures into anything, we will disclose. But yes, points and fintech use case around points is already one of the things that we're trying to do.
Tangi, next one.
Absolutely. I think going forward, we'll be collaborating with Cosmos and also Binance. We are already doing that through kind of remote sort of thing, but I think it will get even in very close collaboration down the road. So we are already developed a lot of things that Cosmos actually lacked, and the collaboration will increase down the road.
Yeah. Just to add to that, if I may, so Cosmos has the interesting mainnet and product they have launched, whatever they built on top of Tendermint, And Zebi, while being a big associate of Tendermint, we will also bring in a big value add to this collaboration. That is, we have real world applications running with lots of high volumes of data. So that real world applications usage is some high value add we bring into this collaboration. So that way it will be a very promising collaboration.
Thanks, Funny. What I also want to add is that the innovation or additional elements that Tangi's and Funny's team have developed will very soon be posted on Zebi's GitHub account, so that you all can actually download and see the code. The next question is, can you explain what are the industries or what other industries Zebi is looking to penetrate? So we are in discussions, but at a high level, cloud security, which is universal, that is one industry that we are looking at. And the second is obviously the data center space. That's the second industry. And with respect to other products that we have under development, we are also looking to actually provide blockchain infrastructure as a service to some of our prospective customers. The discussions are underway, and so that way the entire blockchain backbone can be actually leveraged as infrastructure, and essential dApps or ZApps can actually be built on the blockchain infrastructure. Next question, will there be any way to utilize Zebi's internal public database, 2+ million right now, to Zap's developers for ease of work? Example, if someone plans to develop a digital passport application for airlines. Amit?
Yeah. So at the same time, Zebi also has to respect the data security and the data privacy aspects. So we'll have to actually work with the data providers for such collaboration. The technology supports it, but before using the data, we'll have to the relevant ZAP providing parties. We'll have to work with the data providers and agree on on the data usage of data, and if there is a payment involved for it, etc.
Funny, next question. How many developers are working currently?
Yeah, we have about 46 member engineering team, and we are hiring. So we have 3 development centers in India: Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam, and Bangalore, and we are growing. And apart from that, we have some advisors who are based in Silicon Valley, who are actually veterans of and alumni of top institutes, and who have been industry veterans and who have worked in companies like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Uber, Oracle.
Arun, you want to take this?
Sure. What are the rewards for delegators and validators respectively? Will the validators be able to determine the rewards paid to the delegators, or will it be fixed? Yes, so a lot of this you can read in our docs, but I'll just give you a flavor for it. I mean, in terms of rewards, there are 2 types of rewards like we described earlier. There's transaction-based rewards, which essentially is dependent on the gas fees that are set and the gas that is utilized, right? The product of those two is the transaction reward. And the other way to get rewards is due to inflation. So if you stake, essentially, as I said, there's anywhere between 7 to 20% inflation of Zebi tokens on the mainnet, which is essentially to incentivize more staking, right? So The higher the proportion of mainnet tokens that are on mainnet, the lower the inflation, right? So, but if it's low, then the inflation is high. So these two together constitute the reward mechanism on the mainnet of Zebi. In terms of what delegators get versus validators, those are dependent on the parameters and the commission fees, etc., that the validators will set. So you can go through the documentation that we have in detail, and if you understand Cosmos, largely we follow similar logic. Anything you want to add, Kadi?
Yeah.
Prithvi, you want to take the next one?
Indian government has allowed owning crypto as a financial asset. Is there a possibility of developing an app that promotes Zebi Token in a wallet, do real-time crypto Zebi to get? So I'm not aware of this. I don't think the Indian government has taken a legal stance on crypto yet. I think the case is still sub judice, the last I heard. And I think there are followers in our Telegram channel who are posting updates, and I've not seen anything yet. But yes, you can be rest assured that the day the Indian government allows it, they will be the first to adopt it. That much I can assure you.
So next question, are you planning to integrate AI as well? Yeah, funny. Go ahead.
So Zebi is already doing it. So in one of the products called AI Chain, which is used by about 1,000 plus hotels now. So there is a good amount of AI involved, and even in the cloud security offering we are bringing in, we will be having AI for things like anomaly detection. So that's one of the strengths of Zebi. We are not just a company which is providing a blockchain protocol. We are also doing the additional value adds on top of it, and we are providing a enterprise grade product that will actually work in the real world and satisfy the customer's needs.
So next question, how is the funding provided for Zebi? So I think most of you are aware of the ICO fundraise that happened last year. Some of those funds are obviously have been used and are currently being used for product development. Over and beyond, we are also from time to time raising equity financing, that will basically help us with respect to the working capital requirements, along with the revenue that is being generated by selling our current live blockchain products. Tangi, you want to take it?
So the instructions for validators, details, how to set up the node is all complete. It is actually been tested from the whatever is put out has been captured in the document, has been verified and tested internally. So I think it should not be there should not be any issue as to how to deploy node. So in case there are any issues, you can always get back to us at the support email ID, and we'll be happy to address any issues that you might face.
Funny, you want to take this? It's all about KYC.
I'll take short at it, and Arun, we can chime in if required. So Zebi gives high priority to legal compliance. So at the time of ICO, based on lawyers' advice, we have avoided. We have made it. We have excluded some country residents from being able to register in the KYC and get Zebi tokens allocated. So the same thing is continuing now as well. And for countries like Singapore and the US, additional declarations have to be signed by the user on the KYC app. So this is all a part of being compliant with the KYC and the AML laws. So I mean, in the process, it may appear restrictive, but it's a part of being compliant.
Thanks, Bunny.
The only other way to do the swap would be if you're part of an exchange that's doing the swap for you, right? In which case the exchange is doing corporate level KYC with us, and they will do the swap for their entire token holder community.
Tangi?
Yeah, the validators can set up Sentry nodes. It's for extra security purpose actually, front end, like just like Cosmos recommends it. But it's even without Sentry nodes, obviously you can set it up, but then there's a risk of getting attacked. So I would recommend that validators should probably set up the Sentry nodes just like in Cosmos.
There's something about CMC, whether we will get new
Additional
exchange.
exchange.
All of that will come on CMC. We are already working on that.
You answered all.
Yeah, most of these have been addressed.
Hardware. Yeah, currently the Zebi wallet, we are only supporting web wallet on our mainnet website. But in the future, very soon, I think we'll be supporting the hardware Ledger wallet, Ledger Nano S and Ledger Nano X hardware devices as well. So that's in the pipeline, as well as the mobile apps for the wallet. So these three things on priority we are working on, and we should be able to release in the next in the near future. Yeah.
So on the KYC, there is a question. So all the information collected, as Funny has already alluded to, it's all stored securely, and naturally the technology that we have leveraged, we are ensuring the highest security standards. And Zebi will not be sharing the KYC information with any other entity or enterprise. I mean, of course, at the end of the day, if there is a regulatory requirement where a government body wants to get hold of that data, we have to share, as we need to be compliant with the law. Crypto regulation, question 10. Have any changes occurred in the Indian regulatory landscape which has altered the strategy of Zebi? What is the current state? So originally, if you folks remember, Zebi Prime, aka Zebi Pay, was supposed to be launched in the current quarter, facilitating both fiat and crypto payments between customers and Zebi ecosystem. Unfortunately, given the cryptocurrency ban in India, we cannot actually launch that product, and so we have deferred it until we have clarity from the local regulatory bodies. But that said, we continue to obviously monitor the situation, and as and when things become more clearer, we will ensure that Zebi Prime gets back onto the roadmap. Where can we see Zebi in 5 years, like a blockchain company? So I have shared this vision both internally as well as externally in the past. So today we are blockchaining 2 million records across 4 products. In the interim, I would say 2 to 3 year time frame, I would like to see us blockchain 100 million plus records, and probably in 5 years more than 1 billion. So what that means is not only our existing products needs a much wider global acceptance, but we will also launch many more newer products which could be easily adopted worldwide. What are the challenges Zebi is facing as of now? So obviously there are many challenges that a startup or a company at an early stage like Zebi faces, but we are working our way through most of those. For example, until last year, hiring was a big challenge for us. But then, as you can see, in the last 6 months, we have grown from a headcount of 55 to close to 90 today. So we are able to actually attract some of the smartest talent out there in various facets, so that we can execute to our vision and mission. Zebi must arrange some DevCons and public hackathons in India for developer traction. India currently ranks number 2 in terms of blockchain developers, and it's growing. Zebi can boost this economy a lot. I think that's definitely a great suggestion. We have always been in discussions with various organizations within India to actually conduct some of these workshops. So both Funny and Tangi stay committed to bring some of those to reality in the near future. Arun, you want to take the next?
Sure. Our transaction rates, I think
so transaction rates of the chain up to this task. Yeah, actually the way Cosmos has architected the blockchain is a multi-chain, multi-token architecture. And going forward, I think Cosmos also will be supporting IBC, which is the inter-blockchain communication protocol. So given this, it operates in a hub and spoke mechanism of, hubs and zones, and there can be several hubs and several zones. So given this architecture of scalability, I think the number of transactions per second TPS would obviously be dependent on the kind of the orchestration or the architecture of the public blockchains. So going forward, we will also be spawning multi-chain, supporting multi-chains, and each chain obviously will sustain a rate of, I think Tendermint already published that they'll sustain rates of 1,000 transactions per second, and more actually depends on the, of course, various other external factors of the throughput, the capacity of the machines, VMs, and also the bandwidth, etc. So I think given this architecture, the scalability could be immense, probably. So that's the way we want to adopt and grow with the Cosmos.
The short answer to your questions, whether transaction rates of the chain are up to this task, absolutely yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think the next few questions were all about token economics, validator, instructions, etc. So I think most of those Tangi's team has put very clear communication on our website. So please go through the documentation. If after that, if you have more questions, feel free to email us at info@zebi.co. So with that, looks like we are coming close to the end of the hour. So thanks again to our entire crypto community that's supportive of Zebi. We look forward to this continued support, and please swap your ERC20 ZCOs to Mainnet tokens and become part of our Mainnet, so that you can reap the benefits. Looking forward to working with all of you. If there are any questions, you can also DM me on Telegram. And of course, as I have already indicated, all the executive team is indeed available on Telegram along with our marketing folks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.